Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, disaster from the Autobot trading on FOREX, gold USD, XAU USD, and $850 L today. That's right. We got a lot to talk about. That's why I had in the headlines no robots, unless there's a situation you need to know about. Also, what else can we talk about? How to get in the wealth game now, ladies and gentlemen. The PCE came out. The stock market rose, even though October 1st, some more tariffs are coming into play. Now, what are you going to do? Make money a different way, the same way, the stock market way, the gold, silver, precious metals, and keep doing it and getting that credit score right. 775 by 1 year, 3 months. Friday night live stream is in effect. And welcome. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos because you never know who's going to be out here looking for information or who may miss this information. Just stay tuned. All right. Make sure you understand there is a lot going on when you start thinking about the economy. But first, once again, share the videos. It's Friday night, the SSN Nation Friday night, Financial Friday night. And a lot is going to happen over the next week. Are you going to be prepared a year and a half from now? That is the $1,000,000 question. Now, let's get into it, shall we? Unfortunately, this is my daughter calling. I need to get this. And I will be right back in a few minutes if I can find something. But I got to answer this while we're on the phone. And it's just give me a few minutes. All right, I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. A brief interlude, but thank you so much for waiting because you have heard and read the headlines. $866 to be exact. L today. This was one for the ages. I just got to tell you how it went down so you would understand because I was talking about this bot and come to find out, well, I'll just give the story because on Friday night, we always give stories. So I didn't do anything at nighttime because I knew the PCE was coming out. And I knew at 8:30 a.m. in the morning regarding what would happen if PCE stayed the same or was reduced from 2.9%, which it's 2.9%, the stock market would go up and gold would go up, XAUUSD. So I waited. I didn't start anything before then. I just got up. I was up at 5:30, before 5:30, making my plans, thinking it was going to be one of those great days. So the word comes down 2.9%, same as last month. So we know the stock market is going to go up with regard to gold and silver. True to form, I start running the bot. All of a sudden, the bot goes, even though the stock market is going up, the bot is going in the opposite direction. And again, I'll give you the numbers. Started with like $1,000, like it said. And I'm thinking this is going to be a great day. But no, every time the stock market went up, the bot is buying like it's selling, like it's trying to go against the market. It's going down. So even though XAUUSD is rising, I'm seeing, and this is within minutes, even though I'm only on zero point zero 0.01, by the way, even then I'm seeing 950, 900, 850, 800. And I'm sitting there like, what the heck's going on? It should be going up. What's happening? Then it was 750, 700. This is in a matter of literally less than 60 seconds. So I'm sitting there like losing my mind. I said, okay, I don't know what the hell's going on. So what did it happen? It all of a sudden started switching. 800, 850, 900, 950, 1000, 1050, 1070, 1090. And I was like, you know what? I don't know what the heck's going on because this has moved so fast in less than 2 minutes. I was like, let me go get the stop button and just stop all of this. And I'll collect the 1070, 1050, whatever ends up being. At least I'll be around the same thing. But guess what happens? The unthinkable. The stop button or close all button cannot get into the workspace to close. So now, all of a sudden, there's a reversal. Stocks start going up again. It starts dropping again. While it's dropping, I can't do the start button. It goes to 500. It goes to 400. Then it pops back up. I cut off the app, reopened it, refreshed, couldn't stop it, couldn't close it. And I opened the app twice. And then finally, close all. Well, by the time I got to close all, in a matter of less than 10 to 15 minutes, it was probably 10 minutes, from 1,000 down to $150, and it closed out at $134. So my experiment with the bot has been completed, the scientific experiment. I realize that the bot works best when XAUUSD is going down. So when I was winning and we're winning before, it threw me off initially because it was going down. I just thought the bot put itself in position for when it goes down, but I'm entirely wrong. It's actually seeming to be built for it to go down and you make money. That is not a good thing unless you're planning for it to go down, which you can figure that out too. So, I mean, the bot is not entirely worthless, but that's not what I spent $2,500 for to buy a bot. I thought the bot was AI-ish, realizing price going up. Maybe you should buy at the lower price as it's going up more, and it was going up aggressively. This wasn't some rocket science. This was like it's going up a tenth, a tenth, a tenth, a tenth, like every second. People were buying. So you would think after it goes from I can't remember the numbers because I wasn't caring. I was trying to close everything out. And that's how quick it was. It was less than, I would say, 7 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, something like that, before all the damage was done. That's how quick this happened. It was crazy because after the announcement, it went up, came back down. That's why it recouped where it went over 1,000, almost up to 1,100. Then it just boom, 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 boom. I'm sitting there like, are we kidding right now? And I'm watching the equity going 500, 400, 300, 200. And I see a green candles light up all the way across. I'm like upset. So I said, okay, now that I understand, but I took L's. Now we're back to square one. All profits because we have two bots. I didn't run the other bot, thankfully, because that probably would have done the same thing. But now we know. So I guess I could always restart, always do the bots if I think the stocks are generally going to trend downward. Then I know we're going to be in the green. But that's a heavy lesson to learn, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see who's in the house first. Post-retirement travel. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And he brings his tagline, hello, all. Let's do this. And I have to say, an investor, Mr. Worldwide Tour, going on too, and a member of the channel as well. Thank you so much once again for being in the house. All right, yell, yell. Dennis is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, gonna be a great night. Thank you so much, Yale Dennis, and is very, very happy to see you once again. MDA, he's the one that said, forget about the bot last week. Welcome to the SSN Nation, another investor, the Financial Friday Night Live Stream, and he's brings the tagline like he said last week. Never trust a bot to do a man's job. MDA 0214. You are exactly right. Because the bot went berserk. It went against the market like in minutes because the bot can do so many trades per minute. It was executing. It was like, it was crazy. I was like, what the hell's going on? This thing's on steroids. It would have been great if it was going the other way. The market was going up, or the XAU USD was going up. So I'm sitting here thinking, oh, this is going to be easy today. This is going to be a nice day. I can just chill for about, I don't know, maybe about 30 minutes, 40 minutes. We should be good. I can go back to bed. But no, it was like the stress levels. I was like, what is going on here? All right, but you're exactly right, man. He's the man that warned me last week. Don't do it. All right. You have to watch the market just for a few days to know the rhythm. Market typically goes down at around 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. daily, then down again at around 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Everything in between, it goes up. Yes, but I'm telling you, at 8:31, after the announcement, that 2.9% PCE, that's good for gold and USD. And it went according to plan. So I thought the bot was just going to buy. And when it's going up, I'm thinking, but it did the opposite. The market's going up, the bot's like going down. My account's going down. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Then it bounced back up. You guys can go look at the chart yourself. You'll see it like 8:30 to 8:35. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It went up. And it's like I'm thinking this is golden. Because it poom, 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 poom. And then all of a sudden I was losing money. 700, 650. How's this happening? And this literally was within like one, less than 1 minute. And then it went back up in less than 30 seconds to above my number. So I was like, oh man, let me just stop right now because I don't know what the hell's going on. Let me just close this all out and keep the 1G plus whatever's in there, 1G50 or 1G70, whatever it ends up being. But that thing just started going back down 1,000, 950, 900. And I'm sitting there trying to close it out. Not working, not working. What the hell? Refresh, change it, close the app. Oh, open the app. Oh, 650. Close the app. Oh, 500. Open it back up. 450. I'm like, what the? I'm looking at the market going up though, and it's not stopping. And it's probably another minute or two. And it probably took me 4 or 5 minutes to close it out officially. And by then, damage was already done. Closes at 134. That's right, $134 in less than, I'm pretty sure it was probably 5 minutes. I mean, seriously, it was probably 5, 6 minutes, maybe. It was insane. So, as MD0214, the game of playing with this is over. Bot algorithm is working against you. Exactly. You may have to rely on your own trades. Exactly. But the thing with the bot is it can do so many trades. And that's why it was moving so fast because it was, I don't know how many total. I probably should have counted, but it was boom, 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 just buying, well, selling. And the market goes up. That means for me, it's going down. And I'm thinking I'm ready to win. And I would have because it just shot up. You can see the chart yourself. I actually have a, you know what? Because I had to send the guy that I got the bot from. I sent him the thing. I was like, dude, what the hell is this? This isn't even, this is like it's a put bot. It's like basically it goes down, right? Long as the market was going down. So a few weeks ago, when it was fluctuating on the downside and then going up and then going down, that was good. But when you ran it all night, you woke up, you didn't realize that which way it went. You just said, oh, I have, $800 profit. Okay, let me just close this out. It's good. But now that it has went up the last week, taking L's. Now I know why taking L's. This time I watched. This time I was on strategically planning, thinking it was supposed to go right. Post retirement travel. That's completely incorrect. Good luck with that method. No, post retirement travel knows how to. He does options trading. He doesn't do what just normal buy sells and all that. He does options, which is great. DIM Pals, another investor, is here. You know what? He invests in Yomax ETFs options. He knows his way around because they've been going down as well. So if you were on the put side, you were doing some serious damage. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And oh my, $1.99. Do I see that correctly? A donation. Thank you so much. I humbly appreciate it. And we're back. Monetized, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. So thank you so much. And he brings his tagline. Good evening, all. The rocket ship is going to take off soon. Exactly. And it just started. But the Trump regime announced October 1st, they're going to actually do some more tariffs on trucks. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is, I mean, a complete meltdown of the economy. Farmers, automobile industry. What's next? Going to do something with the housing? Well, no, not because as long as the bond market continues to keep going back from 3.99 up to 4.1, maybe even hitting 4.2 on the 10-year yield. I haven't checked today. That means your mortgage rates can't come down that much. 6.59, 5.9, maybe. But do you have to buy your rate down for a year or 3 or 5? Eeks. Who wants a 6% loan in a five, six, $700,000 house or more? That's insanity right now. So again, there are things that's happening where you guys, again, you better get your act together. You got 1 year, 3 months to go before stuff is going to hit the fan even worse. And by the way, we have government shutdown. Do you understand that there are some things in the big, beautiful bill that will not get funded? And thank God it won't, because that means more money that taxpayers would have to put into the coffers, which means they have to collect more money. And that's going to come from you. They're not going to be collecting more money from the oligarchs. They're going to be collecting more money from you, that they're going to be giving them and their companies tax breaks. We don't need that right now. And unfortunately, some of that stuff is going to go through, and they're going to stop and block like Medicaid, Medicare, and some other things, if they can do it, to get the money from there to pay for their other stuff, like deportations, like concentration camps, all that stuff. So once again, post-retirement travel. And thank you again, DIM Pals, for that $1.99 donation. Again, I humbly appreciate that. Thank you so much. MDA 21-4. I'm not talking about Forex. I do option trading wheel strategy with SPY and QQQ only, keeping it simple. And that has been my experience. I've been very successful for over a year. I remember him starting. He studied. He said he's going to do it. He's been doing great. So I'm glad to hear it. Again, let's see. MDA says, I trade Forex, futures, options, and crypto. MDA 0214 doing the damn thing. I'm looking at charts right now while watching this live. I trade ES and futures, which is the S&P. So I'm back testing trades. That's not correct. Okay, nice. Exactly. I like that. I wish I knew how to go that deep. I have to learn. But now I understand what I'm dealing with if I want to even ever use the bot. But I better be damn sure the market is going down, since I apparently have a bot that basically is in a bear market situation winner. $2,500 for that. But hey, I would be singing a different tune if I would have known this. Then I would have been trading on Wednesday and Thursday as it was going up and doing long downward trends. There was lots of money to be made. But unfortunately, I didn't realize this was a thing. I thought it was going to adjust and be like, oh, going up, we need to buy buys. But instead, they're buying sells. What the heck? I'm like, man. All right. But glad to hear this, MDA 214. I had to try it. You know, I'm a scientist in reality. So I had to try one more time. And now I figured out for the fourth or fifth time I've been using bot 2. I mean, like, this thing actually works on downward trend, because I didn't go to sleep, right? I've been staying awake when it's actually been trading. I just couldn't figure out why on some other little personal trades I could do stuff. So I thought the bot was basically doing what I do. Wrong. Sheesh, like you said, why use a bot when you have to do a man's job? Very well said, MTA. And you're the one that said, don't forget about the bot. I'd have been better off without it, quite frankly, because I would have been on the buy side and just held and watched it. And it would have been like golden, and entered many, many, many positions individually. All right, educate yourself better. You can do 10x better than a bot ever could. Exactly. I see that. I see that, because it made me lose quite a bit of money today, because I would have been on the opposite side of that if I would have just simply put in the buys at 831 instead of cutting on the bot and entering in myself a myriad of trades, and just sat there for the next hour and been like, oh, this is nice. This is nice. Oh, in fact, you know what? Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me go look at this. Um, Let me go look at this today. Since we're here, since we're talking about it, right? Here goes trading view. Yeah, this is it. I don't use trading view. I usually, well, on my phone, I can see investing.com. They have an app. So that's what I use. But yeah, this was wild. This was the wildest thing ever. Like I said, I started watching last week, but I didn't trade, but only twice, because I wanted to do both bots at the same time. And luckily, I didn't do the other one today, because I was just going to cut on the other one after I started. And then when I was having my thing, I was like, what the heck? Because I was like, oh, I got time. I'll just cut mine on. I'll start winning. I'll cut the other one on, start winning. Good thing I didn't, because I, I'm assuming the same thing might have happened. I don't know. Um, but now, That's not good. That's not good at all. Um, yeah, this is probably it right here. Around 8. Nope, it wasn't 8. It was 8. It was like 8:30. Yeah, it was something like this. Yeah, this is it. It was something like 8:28, 8:31. Here it is, right here. You know what? Let me show you guys exactly what happened. Check this out. I'll show you exactly what happened. Oh yeah, MDA 0214. I have to educate myself a little better, man. You're right about that. But I thought I was gonna do great, and I was like, I can worry about this later. I was like, oh, this is a win day. This is gonna be an easy day. I can sit back and relax, have both bots winning hugely. And then I was like, wrong. All right, check this out, guys. This is crazy to me. Check this out. Check this out. Let me see if I can show you. I forgot. I have to. Can you guys hold on a second? Uh oh. Hold on. Uh, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. All right, check this out. You can see right here. Look at this. 829, it's down there. No biggie. 830, you can see it starts rising at 830. 832, it's right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hold on a second. Let me cut this on the phone because it acts weird when I put this up sometimes. Look at this. 833. You see it's down here at the bottom. Oh, you can't see that, but it's down there at the bottom. So I'm like, we're golden. So I entered this thing about probably 833, 834, whatever. It's somewhere in that right here when it starts going up, and I'm thinking, I'm golden. This is great. I'm like, this ought to be nice today. And that's when disaster strikes. Let me see if let me see. Okay, you guys can see my screen. Great. All right. So you guys can see that 833, hopefully. So look at this. Let me stretch. Well, I should. Okay, so where is it? Right here. So you see it goes up, right? So I'm thinking, what the heck? Now it's rising. Look at this. Right here, 833. It goes up, and all of a sudden it starts coming back down at 833. That's what I'm talking about. It was like up to 1070, 1090 click. I was trying to hit the close button to close it out because it was going the opposite way after it went up and then came back down. I'm sitting there like close, and then it didn't. So now this little situation right here, when it rose back up, went back down, I was trying to close it this whole time. Then it started doing this upward. I'm going down. And so it looks like it was about 10 to 15 minutes. Then when it did this right here, I still haven't closed out. Not that far up, but it was like right here, it started rising. But you can see it's higher than this point when I already lost like 500, 550, whatever it was. Then it went up and then it started going down. May have went up, but I don't know. I closed out the app trying to hit the close, saying, okay, I see 700 again, but then it's over because this point right here at 848 is already below this point that they already took the money from. So I have less money in my account. And then when it does this, it's game over. It's game over. And then I finally hit the close button and it was too much damage done. But anyhow, hopefully you guys can see that. It was a short period of time to me. It looks like it was about 10 to 15 minutes after all, looking at the chart. But anyhow, that's what was happening. It was crazy. It was crazy. Um, okay, let's go. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was a crazy, crazy ride. Catastrophic. But now that I know what's happening, that's cool. MDA 214, thanks for your feedback. Like I said, I just keep it simple. Just playing one strategy. It works for me. Best of luck to you as well. Exactly. That's how you have to do it, whatever you feel comfortable with. I use TradingView. Go to the full chart and you can see the actual candlesticks. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't went over there in a while. But let's go. Full chart. There we go. Yeah, if I stretch it out, you'll see exactly what I mean. This is crazy, and I could probably put in a longer timeline so you just see it. Let me see. Do we have a? Oh, well, 1 day, 1 minute. Is that 5 No good. Friday. Wonder what time. Let's see. Wait. Let's go back. Wait. Today's the 26th, right? So this must be. Yeah, I can't tell where this is. Yeah, here we go. Right in this ballpark, somewhere like this. It starts rising at 8:30. So somewhere in here. Oh, you guys can't see it. I don't have it on screen, I don't think. Nope, don't have it on screen. Let's go. Uh, can't put it back up. But yeah, you can see it a little better. I'm using I don't know what chart I'm on, but you can see it at the bottom 815, 820, 835. It's 37.46. And at 9:05, it's at 37.55. So it went all that way, would have been all winners, check, sell, every 0.01 ish. That's what I was using. And it's checks. It would have been just selling. It would have been just rising straight up. There was no even down, I don't believe. I mean, it was just crazy. So, yeah, so whatever. That was that was supposed to be winning. And it would have been a nice win. It would have probably been a double the amount. It would have been 1,000. I would have stopped. I wouldn't have kept going because it would have been above my $200 or $300 mark. But nonetheless, learn, and the lesson is over. All right, it's over. So I know what to do. I can do it myself, but again, I can't enter as many trades as them. But at least I wouldn't have lost. I would have been like, good. I'd have taken, maybe a couple hundred or something in a short time frame, but I'd have been good versus taking the 800 and, as it turns out, $66 loss, uh, which is bad. All right. Now, the rest of the day, the rest of the night. Let's go. Okay. Stocks surge. You guys, again, we were talking about this, the blue chip stocks, the VOOs, all of these just standard. If you don't want to actually have to trade stocks or buy stocks, then you can do something else, right? You can buy ETFs that we talked about every week now for the last probably all year long. We talked about it. That's how you can build wealth that way. You don't have to do trading in the markets, even though there's a lot of people that make money, but a lot of people lose. We know the numbers on day trading. It's over 90% on day trading. So you have to have a particular strategy and you have to understand the markets. It's a learning lesson, right? I'm not as good as like post retirement travel, MDA, or DIM pals to be able to do what they do. So that's why I was relying on the bot, because we were doing testing. It was winning. Friends were winning. We're winning. Everybody's winning. Then all of a sudden, people are losing. And I was like, what's going on? Because we won. So I thought the bots were different. Little did I know, they might have been watching it go down during the night and might have done, closed out or canceled and took the L's. I didn't know what was going on because we woke up and there's money. One time 1,030, another time 874 when we closed it out. Another time what was it? 200, I can't remember, 309 or 200 or something within like 15, 20 minutes. So we closed out, went to bed. It's simple, right? I didn't realize if it went down, that's where things were going because we were sleeping at the time. Now that I was actually paying attention and being intentional about it, I was like, hold up, this is 2 times. Wait, hold, what? That was fast. That was so fast, it was pathetic. I hate to say it. All right, now let's get back to the business at hand. If you still have not gotten your app, brokerage account, they have them all over the place. So, of course, we still go with the old standby that everybody knows about. Uh, Robinhood, Webull, Moo. If you want to get your free shares of stock, you can go. You can go down below in the description box And also, let me do something else. I wonder, why don't I have this? This is strange. Because I'm adding a few other things too. Because again, we're on the 1 year, 3 month thing. I need you guys to get your debt in order. And it's very simple. Your debt resolution is there. Let's just get things straight. Um, Car repos are mounting. Just so you know, car repos are mounting, and people have 2023, 2024 vehicles that are getting repossessed, and they have the unthinkable 7 year, 8 year, 10-year car loans, which is insane for new cars that are overpriced. So again, if you want to build wealth, you need disposable income. So one way to get disposable income is if you owe X amount of dollars in debt and you can get your debt reduced and payments reduced and go through a debt resolution process. That's why you need to get in touch with Tracy at tracy.sharpe at moneyladder.com. The link is now down below in the description box, and I'll leave it here on the screen as well on the chat room so you guys can check it out. All right. We have Brian P. in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Mr. Dividend has arrived. And he says his tagline, Happy Day, Eric. Thank you. Hopefully your day went well. I hope all is well with you. It hasn't gone well financially, but hey, I'm breathing. I'm still alive. We have another day to do something great. Happy day, SSN family. Smash that like button. That's right. Give it a one piece, ladies and gentlemen. Show some love. And if you like what we're talking about, please subscribe to the channel. Click the all notification bell. All right, there we go. Thank you, Brian P. And once again, back to the situation at hand. Get your debt resolution. Don't file bankruptcy. Don't get debt collections. This way, it gets you into a 1 year to 2 year time frame where you can actually pay down your debt at reduced amount. And therefore, on the other side of it, your credit will come out better because they'll say paid off with good standing. That's what you want, ladies and gentlemen. So that means you can ramp up right away. And on the other side, it'll be a better credit report. And we need you at 775 in 1 year, 3 months. So work hard to get your debt reduced. That's what you need to do. Number one, you want to build wealth because you're going to need disposable income. You don't want just the rich guys being able to make all the money by sleeping, do you? Come on, let's get real. You got to be in the game. 93% of the stock market is owned by the top 10% of the richest in America. So, and around the world. So you got to get in the game because they're making sure that they win in their own casino. They actually fluctuate the markets themselves by buying back their own shares of stock of their corporations. They also inflate their stock because then they say another company is going to buy that company and give it another value, and they act like it's an asset to the new company, or shall I say an asset to the old company, to give the value of the old company a higher valuation because they go, oh, look, this company we just bought is $10 billion. So that adds to our assets. That means our regular company value has increased. They got games, ladies and gentlemen. You don't. So you have to figure out what are you going to do. Sure, you can buy gold, you can buy silver, you can buy platinum, palladium, you can store it and watch it rise as our currency is devalued. Or you can buy crypto and a little bit of that and sit there and watch it rise. But guess what? The bills cost more now than they did last month. You got your energy bills lately? You got your new insurance renewals yet? Or for that matter, you got any renewals yet? Because let's face facts, I have a mailbox and these guys have lost their minds. It's double. Yeah, double. I was like, what the heck's going on with you guys? They're like, well, it costs a lot more to keep the lights on. Plus, the other services are charging us more, the supply chain. I'm like, holy smokes, this is getting out of hand. This is what's going down, ladies and gentlemen. So, once again, you have to understand how to get the wealth game in it now because you need disposable income. That means that's the only way you're going to be able to make passive income. Even if you do what we talked about trading forex wise, the option income wheel strategy, anything you do that may take a little bit of time, but at least you may not have to work 8 hours a day to do it, hard labor. But at least if you learn it, and there's ways you can learn it, it just takes a little time. Me personally, it's taken me longer. But again, I've always been biased, not even wanting to do it. So maybe that has something to do with it. It's not like I wanted to sit around and look at the computer and try to figure stuff out. And so it may have come back to haunt me for my educational purposes now. I can't get up to speed fast enough, but I think I now have a sweet spot in understanding on what I'm going to have to do a little better. But I still have another weekend to study, which is good. So I'm not going to abandon this 110%. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sit there and be like, okay, I think I'm going to try and figure out how I'm going to lose the other $134, but not without a fight. So we're going to find out how that's going to go when Sunday night shows up. All right. That's how we're going to do this. The experiment's still not over. We'll still make it happen. Brian P., you know what he does on Friday nights. Uh-oh, look at that. Check your emails. He loves me to check those emails because he knows what's going to happen. Oh, I forgot completely about this. Oh my, that's not good. Stuff wasn't muted. All right. So there we go. Check your emails. I will smash that like button. Thank you so much for mentioning that. Everybody, please do that. And again, if you like what we're talking about, please subscribe to the channel, click the all notification bell. And if he's saying check your emails, you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. That means we have lots of news. And that news oftentimes is just not good. Yeah, I'm looking right now. Plus 10.4 points today. That would have been, well, it would have been over as soon as it went up to go from whatever it was. Um, what was that? 35, 37, 37.40 up to 37.70 would have been good. I mean, it would have been over. I would have just said, thank you so much for that, 1,000 to 1,500 in world. But wouldn't happen. All right, let me get down to business. Um, oh yeah, emails. Forgot about that. Just almost forgot about it. Okay, let's go. No, 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 no. There we go. Okay, I'll be able to log in a second. What changes? There's no changes. All right. Thank you for mentioning that. And once again, Tracy at Money Ladder, if you want to get your debt reduced without filing bankruptcy or getting debt collections, I suggest you contact her now. She does what we do here. All right. Brian P says we are making money in here. Yes, we are. But I took a huge L today. I don't like taking L's like this, especially when it was preventable. But again, I have to go get me a new close button. I have to figure out why this thing wasn't closing. I got to figure out what all went wrong because I would have minimized. I mean, it could have dropped back down roughly because it was fast. It could have dropped to 900, 850, 875, whatever. I'd have still been fine with that. At least I would have been able to go back in and forget the bot and then just make my own trades. And then I would have came back up. But you know, didn't have that luxury because it was just drop, couldn't close. It was crazy. We were making money in here. That's right. So there's always a time for the comeback, ladies and gentlemen. I got the notification and I saw the videos. Thank you so much. That's right. Did anybody see the videos about the shorts when I was with my cousin at Sunset Park in Las Vegas? Pickleball courts. I've never played pickleball. I'm on the IR list, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Eric got a formal email today for us to sign. They are committing to start scheduling owners for closing starting 15th of December. We may be looking at summer 2026. I'll know the status next month. Yes, yes, yes. I agree with you 110%. They always do the December close date letters. They want you to come out. I think it's going to take 2 or 3 months, hopefully. And you will be set by summer for sure. I agree with that timeline. April, May, somewhere like that. Summer, for sure, you will be doing the salsa dance from the island, man. That's not Dominican, that's Jamaican, like. But that'd be cool, man. I'm glad to hear this. This is excellent because you've been waiting for a long, long time, and there potentially could be a lot of equity for you. The value could have doubled. So we're talking about this, ladies and gentlemen. What if you bought something for 200,000? You did have to wait 5, 6, 7 years, whatever. But then on the other side, you got a higher unit, some TVs, an added bonus for being late. It's worth it. I mean, TVs, 355-inch TVs. I mean, some people would say, well, no big deal. That's only, 1,500 2Gs, but it's still 1,500 2Gs. Don't have to buy TVs. And they're 55 inches, not them stupid 35 inches or 40 inches that people put in their condos and do Airbnb. You should always have 55 plus. Never should be below 55, quite frankly. So that's good. And they got some other little perks. That was very, very nice. So he's going to be very happy in a year because the value, let's say it's 200, let's say the value is 400. I think most people would be happy with that valuation, even if you had to wait extra years. There's not going to be too many people that's going to be able to have that valuation because you didn't buy an upscale luxury location. You guys know the rules. If anything, even if it doesn't have the amenities like you would like, upscale luxury always maintains or increases its value better than anything else in the lower end market. Because who can afford the higher end properties? The people that already don't care what the economy is doing and they care about the neighborhood, where it is. So he ends up winning twice. So congratulations. Next year, this time, he will have been over there chilling and potentially running it out. So that would be very, very happy. Lashana Morgan, welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Thank you so much for being in the house. Hi, Eric. What happens to Villa Martina? I haven't heard about Villa Martina. In fact, funny you should ask because they should have been done by now. Because Villa Martina 1, they actually had some villas already built like a couple years ago, but they have went radio silent. Did they not finish? I mean, I don't mean finish. I mean, what's the status? I'm sorry, I do not know. And quite frankly, I have to give you some information because after I had my SSN Lifestyle Punta Cana Investors Forum last May, I had a falling out. And it's quite simple. You don't have friends when they don't pay you, right? When you have agreements with quite a few people, and the reason I'm looking away is because I'm actually adding some playlist down below so this can go out to on the YouTube to different locations. Um, yeah, I had a little falling out because, when people owe you thousands, tens of thousands of dollars and they start acting funny, I kind of don't want to participate anymore other than hurt them. That's, I mean, that's it. I mean, let's just, I like I told you guys before, if it's 1,000, 2, 3, 4, okay, we can chit chat, talk. But when you start doing 40 G's, 50 G's, 60 G's, 70 G's, it's like, oh, wait, I'm not that nice guy. So it was getting into a serious situation. So I felt it was best that we came along with some agreements, satisfactory, basically for me, because for them, paying me less is always satisfactory, right? But I didn't want to be in a Dominican jail because I would do something stupid. So it was that simple. So at least it got somewhat resolved, but not the real deal. So now I can't deal with nobody over there. So therefore, I don't care about most places because if I get an update like we went over on Wednesday when Larimar has 2 floors, I believe, built, and they showed them on Instagram, I went and showed it. If there's some updates that come, I will show them. But as far as me going over there, hanging out with these clowns, no, no, no. That ain't going to happen no more. That won't happen. As far as them being on my channel, talking about anything, that won't happen either. All right. They have to do all of it by themselves. And I'm pretty sure they're going to keep doing lots of renderings, lots of marketing, and making sure they still sell real estate on the island, which they are doing. So they can do without my inputs, without anything, no recommendations of what they should do, none of that, no advice. They can just do what they do. By the way, I got a picture today. Speaking of that, Villa Martina, I'm going to go look this up in a second. All right. I'm going to go look this up. Just give me a second. Okay. I'm going to do something real quick. We're going to go look it up because, I mean, simply you just go to, YouTube and you go and see if there's, oh man, I messed up. I got the emails. Oh, I got the emails. U.S. Treasury yields, investors await key jobs data. All right, forget it. Oh, here we go. I just talked about this. Americans owe 1.66 trillion in auto debt. This is what I was just talking about. And trends look alarmingly similar to those just before the Great Recession. And you know what? It's similar to the Great Depression. Isolationism by the United States by doing tariff nonsense, farmers going out of business, which was damn near everybody because America was rural at the time, businesses in the city having to lay people off, banks shutting down, stealing all the money, not just a few million people annually. Everybody was shut down. Can't go to the bank and get your money. Bank holidays, but rent is due. That's the exact same thing that we're going on right now, and history is repeating itself from 100 years ago. It's sad to watch a slow rolling meltdown of America and disrespect. You see what the rest of the world has done to our president when they went over to the UN. They're doing all kind of funny stuff that only the 1,000-year-old countries can do. I'm sorry. Escalator is not going to work. I'm sorry. We're not going to have somebody roll tape for you. Get your own people to do it. And then, in true fashion, our government, who does not take L's, no matter what happens, they will not admit they effed up, finds out that the F up on when our president was talking, they find out it was their own staff that was manning the screens. But they left that part out when they were complaining. Oh my God. It's a funny, hilarious thing, except we're all in this effed up situation, ladies and gentlemen. And more effed up situations is coming for the automobile industry. Speaking of that, 1.66 trillion auto debt that's not going to be paid, by the way. So what's going to happen to the automobile finance companies who's not getting any money? And by the way, they sold a lot of that paper to somebody else. So they got their money, but the people holding that paper, waiting on that monthly payment to come in for the next 7 years, 6 years, 10 years, what's going to happen? They're not going to get paid. They're going to need to be bailed out. With what money, ladies and gentlemen? Your tax dollars from the future? Because that's the only way they're getting bailed out. You see where this is going, don't you? All right. Thank you for that. I appreciate this information. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to make a video about this because since I'm talking about it, I might as well help people out as well and let them realize you better be calling debt resolution help, Tracy Sharpe at moneyladder.com. Let her know Eric, the familiar, called and told you to call, right? I call here, you call her. And I'll give you the email for everybody on podcast, TRACY.sharpe, SHARPE at moneyladder.com. That's simple. All right. So we'll be talking about this tomorrow. Once again, this is how you build wealth. Get rid of debt right now. You have to go to the Dave Ramsey program right now. I'm serious. Who would have thought I would have had to agree with Dave Ramsey about getting rid of debt entirely if you can? But unfortunately, I don't see how that's possible. I just don't see how it's possible. Um, because bills come and you're going to need a debit card, credit card, you're going to need something to pay these bills. These bills are automatic debts every month. You cannot go around it. You have bills every month. So there is debt. But the point is, you don't want to have credit debt. You just want to have fresh, flush cash flow to pay towards your bills, and anything extra, not all of it, a little bit of the extra you need to invest for your future, because you're going to have to make 12, 15, 20% annually in order to stay ahead of inflation for the next, oh my gosh, man, I'm predicting at least another 5 to 10 years after this, because we're talking about $40 trillion after the next 2 or 3 years goes by. That's oof, that's over $1 trillion a year in interest only. Eh, eh, That's a lot of money, a lot of money. And the United States GDP is going down because we're not in the world anymore. We have wars against financial wars, tariff wars against damn near the whole world. So our companies and corporations have less revenue. So therefore, the GDP is not going to be affecting Americans. This fake GDP that they're doing right now, talking about these countries are going to buy $500 million worth of electricity and adding that to the GDP to up the numbers. And then the other countries go, no, 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 we're not going to do that. Japan said, nope, they're not doing it. EU, nope, we're not doing it. But they're acting like that money's going to come in and adding it in the calculation. So they're going to revised down later. But right now they're going to act like, oh, yeah, we got 3.5% or 3% GDP, when in fact it's based on fake, false numbers. The money hasn't arrived. It's not going to arrive. People aren't going to be building factories here when you can't get workers here. That makes zero sense. So again, Hyundai had to send over representatives to Georgia to actually show the Americans how they do it there. And then somebody effed that up. So now Hyundai might be saying, and other Korean automakers might be saying, we don't have to make cars in America. We can just sell to the rest of the world. America only has roughly only about 100 million people that can even afford to pay for cars. There's a whole world out here. 4 billion people can afford. Why do we care about 100 million? Do you see my point? And their $13,000, $10,000 cars cost $10,000 and $13,000 in other countries. They don't cost 40 grand. They don't cost 35 grand. They don't cost 50 grand. You see where I'm going with this? I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go. I'm going to get back into the chat room, but first I want to see if there's anything else that I want to look at with regards to, oh yeah, here goes the yields. This is bad. This is bad. If they start talking about the yields, let me see. 66 buildings in San Francisco face foreclosures as Veritas defaults on 652 million debt. What did I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? My point's exactly. Businesses, if you don't have money coming in and you have to pay more in tariffs as a business, you can't employ people, or people can't buy your products because you have to raise the price. So office space makes sense. People are saying, well, I'm not going to pay the office bill. I mean, Elon does it. So everybody else does it too. That's one way not to pay until they tell you to get out. And that's what's happened. 66 buildings in SF face foreclosure. Oh my God. Guess who gets to get these? Who do you think's going to buy? Who's going to buy this up? You know who? The billionaires. They're going to say thank you very much for some buildings for about $300 million, maybe even less. So they give up 250 of their 1,000 bags of $1 million. Is that worth 66 buildings? I think so. I think so. See, this is where it goes. So the wealthy are going to get wealthier because they're going to buy the buildings. They can sit on them because they have another 750 or 2,000 duffel bags of $1 million sitting around. So they're not going to care about using 250 of it because that's about what they should settle at. Probably 200 to 250 is probably what somebody will buy the paper for. Just saying. Um, Oh, here we go. Loyola Hospital faces organ transplant fraud suit. Great. They did risky transplants to boost revenue. Oh, my. Wow. Okay, 1.5 million cars recalled. I can't remember the company. Doge exposing Americans' personal data. Oh, yeah. Color me shocked when I got 20-year-olds acting like they know everything on the internet and like they were going to keep secure the information. Jesus Christ. This is insanity right now. Um, Amazon, Virginia Dad. All right, we'll talk about this on another day. In fact, I think maybe one of these days, maybe on a Saturday, I think I should just go down the whole list, the Brian P. emails, and just talk about them one by one by one. All right, let me see what else is going on. Let me get back into the action. All right, post retirement, Eric. So you kept you active contract with Larimar, right? I asked because I recall you were looking at other projects as well. Yes. Well, I don't really have an active contract. It's just that I paid somewhere between 17 G's. I never even looked it up. 17 G's to 20 G's. Up until last year, it was either January, February, or March, somewhere in there was my last payment. So then I requested them to give me my refund back. They can, and at that time they had a standing rule such as they would keep 10%. So I was like, okay, well, if you keep 1,700 or 2 G's, fine. I didn't really care, but they never responded other than some stupid email talking about, well, we will get back in touch with you. Yeah, okay, never did. But the point is, I requested several times via email, in person. So they said, yeah, we'll get you a refund initially, but that was through the broker before I even came. And then I did it through attorney, said, hey, and then they said, oh, write a letter. And then Larimar goes, write a letter. So I did, well, via email. Here's 4 or 5 email addresses. Send it to all of them and we'll get back to you. And that's when they said, oh, yeah, the guy said they might keep 10%. I said, I don't really care. Okay, fine, whatever. Send me back the whole amount or whole amount less 10%. We're good. Hasta la vista. So they still have it. So therefore, I guess whatever happens, happens. But they're using panel building. You did see what they're doing. They're not actually using block building techniques. They're using panel building, which you guys, if you're not familiar with panels, the units are designed a certain way. So you put together literally panels like walls and you panel out the bedrooms, the living rooms, the dining rooms. Just like right now, if you look in your apartment, your villa, your home, your townhome, you'll see there's walls, right? That's how they put panels in the whole system. And so what they do is after they put in the panels, they basically form all the walls, right? So then they put the roof on, but they don't have the roof initially. What they do is they fill up all of the space. So on the roof, after they finish, it goes all the way up to the roof. Then they just pour concrete. The concrete fills all the walls. So it builds all the walls without having somebody to put block by block by block. So they just pour all the concrete. It fills up all the whole walls. The concrete sits on top, all in a day's, less than a day's work. And now you have a whole floor done in just a matter of a few, not even probably a couple hours, once you have everything formed. And then you take the panels off after three. Well, it depends on cure time, right? And then you take the panels, put them back out. Then everybody moves up to the next floor, or the lifts put them up there. They move up to the next floor. Panels go in. Same thing. Keep going. You can build that very fast. You can go 17 floors in if this wasn't their first time doing it, they could do it in like 6 to 9 months. Just the gray part, the cement part. It'll take another probably year to do the interiors. But the good thing about panels is that all the openings for the water, sewer, electricity, all the lines and all that is already built into the form. So there'll be a hole wherever it needs to hold all the way through. So they don't have to do anything. They just keep going. It takes a lot less time. You don't need the same manpower because you don't have a build by brick situation, which would have taken them 5, 6, 7 years, at least for only a few buildings. So it's one hand, it's a good thing it's panels. On the other hand, um, again, I have other questions. Earthquakes, wind. I don't know. Mr. Law of Compensation, welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. He has the hood on, the angry, sad face. Yes, I know, man. You do Forex, and yes, I took a big L today. $866 to be exact. In a matter of minutes. Again, I think I was jumping color. It had to be less than 10 minutes because that magical bot that I thought was kind of cool. It is cool if the market was going down, but it was actually buying on the sell side, going down while the market's going up. And I'm sitting there watching stuff evaporate. 1,000, 950, 900, 850, 800, 700, 750. Then all of a sudden shot back up to over 1,070. And I was like, what the hell's going on? The market's going up. Why did it already shoot back up? I was like, oh, okay. So it finally corrected. That's what I was thinking as it was going up. But then it went 1,070, 1,000. I think it hit 90. I saw another 107, 10 something zero. And all of a sudden it was 105, 130. I was like, what the heck? Close this out. Let's see. And then the close button didn't work. Disaster. Because it not only didn't work, I had to shut down the app. I reopened it. I refreshed things. Man, it took me at least 2, 3, 4 minutes. By the time I opened it back up, it was down to around 350, 400. And then by the time I closed it, it was around, I don't know, in the ones. But I wasn't caring at that point. I was just like, close, finally. And then it all 134 or something. So yeah, 866. That's how it went, man. Bring me the hoodie, the mad hoodie. It was going against the market from the get go. SSN family, thank you so much for being in the house once again, Mr. Law of Compensation. You guys see everybody here, post retirement travel. He's going on the worldwide tour. You want to see what his unit's going to look like? I think he might post that on his YouTube channel and definitely on the Instagram channel. So go over there, show some love by supporting our own SSN Nation members. Mr. Law of Compensation, he's all over now. He's finally done the thing. He says, all right, E, I heard you for years. E, tell me to go do it. He's a smart man, ladies and gentlemen. So go see what he has to say from time to time as well. He has a YouTube channel, TikTok channel, Instagram channel. Go show some love. Subscribe to both of their channels and do the right thing. It's free. Hit that like button. That's right, for both post-retirement travel, Mr. Law of Compensation. All you got to do is click on their profile, and that'll take you right to it. It's that simple. All right, facts. Tamara Larry's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Another investor is here. And very happy to see you once again, and brings her tagline, hello all. That's right, Financial Friday Night Live Stream, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we have to do it out here. We got Yield Max ETF paychecks tonight. That's right, some of you did. I got a little bit of that too. But again, remember, I'm not on that train no more. Remember that train? It left the station. It said, hold on. Eric, you bought at a certain price. You've gotten a nice little tidbits of dividends, but we don't want the stock price to go below what we purchased it for. Take the profit on the stocks, take the profit on the dividends, and if it hits that stop loss number, sell all of it. That's what I did. So I only have a few. Coney still never dropped to my stop loss price. And there's another, can't remember. There's only a few that I have left, but I'm still doing the salsa dance. But I just want to let you know. In fact, another person just hit me up that didn't know that I was doing Yomax ETF, and they bought MSTY at $4,000 worth. I don't know when. And I said, really? And they got $3,600 back in dividends. And then they said it's down to $13. I said, oh, that's not good. I said, because I know it was higher than $13. So she goes, that's right. I lost some money on my stock value, but it was pretty close to even. So I'm good. I was like, yeah, but 13 is a no-go zone. Should have sold that long ago. So anyhow, just so you guys understand, that's where I came from. Because they gave, if you get like 80% a year distribution and you get 20% or 25 or 30 already before the year is out, why would you let the stock price, your profit from the stock, why would you not take that? Why wouldn't you just sell it and keep all the dividends and now you can reinvest in something else? Why not do that? All right. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. All right, let's go. Here we go. Firecrackers going off. Exactly. Let's go. That's it, man. Don't even talk to me about this dude, man. You know he ain't the dude, man. Let's go. You know he's not the dude. That ain't the dude. But took an L. Yes, man, because it traded against the market, man. It actually was selling when the market's going up. Reverse of the market. Tragic. Okay, here we go. What's your thoughts on whole life insurance for storing extra cash? Not much. Been doing some research and decided to give it a shot. Hey, man, do what you got to do. You have that extra disposable income. That extra cash value, though, on most of those life insurances, some of that value has to go towards your actual policy. And depending on your age, that matters greatly as well. So even if you put in a max, they have a max ceiling usually of how much cash value or money you can put in, and it's not really that much. And during that time frame, you also have to pay your insurance. And like I said, age matters. If you're 55, 60, 70, then it's going to cost you more for the insurance, and therefore your cash value is you're gonna have to put a lot more money in. And over time, because again, usually you can only put in X amount per year unless something's changed over the last year and a half, where they said, oh, we can cap it or something. I mean, don't have a cap, then that would change things dramatically. But most of the time they have a cap. So that's the only thing about that. And so if you're, I guess, roughly 35 to 40, probably makes sense because in 20 years you can have X amount based on the caps in there. But again, you're going to be paying your insurance policy along the way. And then if you use whole life, then it expires. You're right. So it universal index, all that. Yeah. So you got to study it up yourself. But yeah, there might be something new because they always change the rules to make people invest into it from time to time. So again, I was just giving you some heads up on that cash value because they always try to sell it on the cash value and you can borrow against your cash value. And I'm like, okay, but I can also borrow against any asset that I have that costs me the same money, and the asset I have grows more than 4%. So what are you saying? That's the reason I was never understood. I mean, I can go down to the bank and get 4%, and the money's always liquid. Well, unless they want to take it in a bank holiday or just steal it outright. But the point I'm trying to make is you can make more than 4% in a lot of places. So that's where you go with that. That's the way I look at it. So But everybody has their own ways of doing it. So no way is right or wrong. It's just whatever's best for you and your family is what matters, right? So that's the main number one thing. All right. Okay. Now let's see what else do we got going on. Um. Yeah, I'm doing some things in the background while we're talking, doing that. I'm not going to be on too much longer, ladies and gentlemen. Um, it's Friday night, story night, right? We haven't come up with the story night yet. Let me see. Well, we have the story night, the FOREX. No, IUL is definitely a scam, not worth it. Exactly. But I've been reading and some use it as a bond replacement. Yeah. You could do all kind of stuff. I mean, it's considered like a asset. That's for sure. It's an asset of some sort. It just depends on how much you want to pay for it and does it make sense? Because age matters, obviously. Because how much your premium is going to be is going to matter greatly. And with the way insurance is these days, you don't know what your premium is going to be year after year after year. So we'll see. Eric Michis is picking up momentum from today's Dominican Today paper. Michis positioned as conscience luxury destination at top Riza 2025. That's the next Punta Cana. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. They can build all the hotels they want out there, but um, they have a lot of infrastructure to do out there, and I don't know if they're going to spend the money to do it. Look, they're not even spending the money in Santo Domingo. It flooded. I mean, cars are in the street. I mean, this is crazy. They're not even spending the money in Punta Cana or any of the major cities where they have tourism, the number one, number two tourism spots. So I'm not going to believe they're going to go out to Michis and all of a sudden all that um, farmland that they're going to be putting in sewers and on the rolling hills and mountains and roads on those rolling hills and mountains when they can't even do it on the flat areas. Electrical grid's going to improve somehow. I mean, I'm like disappointed. Over 8 years, these guys have had a runway, and they squandered the runway. They had 8 years just to put in basic services and upgrade their systems, and they said, "Nah." So this talk about Mishi is going to be this, that, and the other, I'm just like, I don't know. You can go Las Terranas, Samana, all these places, and people who have stayed there, and they leave and move to other areas, and they tell you electricity's out for 1, 2, 3 days, and all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, how is this possible? You guys had a runway and all this money that you gave up by saying comfort tour and letting these hundreds of millions of, well, trillions of dollars of investment go with little to no tax to pay for the infrastructure. And you're not making them pay for the infrastructure, which is, that's just asinine. But anyhow, yeah, they're making it up. You can market anything. The Mishi's has been marketed as that next big location, but there's no airport up there. That's another thing. They blocked the airport that would have went up there because of the guys in Punta Cana, the Rainier Group. So that thing from the airport's like an hour away. I mean, people's going to go, yes, but that puts a hindrance on going. You're going to go an hour, hour and a half outside of Punta Cana and go to something that they're building, and it's rolling hills at Michis for the most part. So there's a new project that's going to be built out at Michis on the rolling hills, and I, I mean, geez, I mean that's going to be a daunting task. You have to level off each section because they're making townhomes, condos, villas, and there's tiered. How and you got to run a real sewer system, or are they going to use the septic system, which is, sheesh. I mean, that may be what they're going to use because at Mishi's, I was going to have to use the septic system. So I don't know what they're going to, I mean, Uvera Alto, those places out there, they use septic systems in those big, nice places. You go out back on the road out back and you're like, it smells pretty bad. And I'm just like, are you serious? I thought all these places down here would have their own sewer system. This is like open sewer system because there's so much uh, waste from these 200 unit, 300 unit, all inclusives that you can go down the back road that leads to where the service entrance, I guess you would say, and it does not smell very nice. I was in shock. I was like, are you kidding me? And they're going to build more at Uvera Alto because I was looking at a lot right there. That's why I was there. I was like right next to Marriott is 2 lots over. The one they just now built, it might be finished by now. And on the left side, I can't remember the name of that beautiful place. Um, oh man, it was nice. I can't remember the name of it. On the left side was another place that charges $1,000, $2,000 per night. So I was trying to get that lot in between, and then it would have kept the value. I could have charged 800, 1,000. I didn't need to charge that much either. So it put me in a perfect position. But then when I was back there, I was like, wait, is this what's going on? And then the dump was across the street, literally. I was just like, this is not cool. Even though most people do not enter that location, they go around the front, right? Or take them closer to the front. Uh, yeah, so I don't get too excited no more because whenever they talk about all these places, it's like smoke, mirrors, marketing. But the reality is, when they start building it, all of a sudden it's like, where are you getting the water from? Where are you getting? Are you getting fresh water? Where are you getting electricity from? Where are you getting the sewer? Is there going to be a sewer system? It's all these normal things that they don't even care about. Speaking of not caring about, we have a situation like in Los Corrales, El Cordecito. After all these years, there's still, when it rains hard, there's still flooding, right? You would have thought they added thousands of units just in that one little area. You would have thought they would have actually made a real sewer system, drainage system. Wrong. Right then and there. That also, last year hanging out, I was like, man, this ain't right. What's going on around here? So you're just going to keep adding stuff. Now it's Atlantida, Oceana. That's another 1,000 units. Where's all this going to go? What about the electricity? Is there some sort of new electrical power station that's been built around this area somewhere? No. So this is why I have a little problem with these guys right now, amongst other things. But it's still a great investment because everybody's investment has increased in value, regardless of that. So people still get to win. So I'm very happy for everybody that gets to win. And yeah, Mishi's going to be the same as Punta Cana. It's going to have the cachet because they already kind of set it up as a, um, they have those domes or something, or that tents where it's a kind of an upscale luxury uh, camping type, glamping type of environment out there that they charge people a nice price for. And they're setting up Mishi's for that upscale because they're spending a $250 million. A couple of resorts, all inclusive resorts, are going to be out there. Um, and it's going to be a wellness type of atmosphere. So I don't blame them at all for doing it. And the land was cheap. I'll just tell you guys, it was cheap. It was like $50 to $75 per square meter at one time. Probably not now, but when I was going to look at get something, it was that much, $50 to $75. Actually, it was $75 per square meters on the beach for a lot on the beach. And then if it was so, it was 75 up front. You go back about 100 yards, 2 lots, another lot's in the back. The guy only wanted $55 for the ones in the back, and you could put them together. So that's what I was working on when I was over there. And like I said, when I was doing all that stuff, I learned a whole bunch of stuff. And now it made sense why things don't get built for 6, 7, 8 years, because it's not what you think. It's deeded, yes, but they have these family deed type things, and in order for it to be a clear title, everybody has to sign off, and that can take up to a year and a half. And that's what's been happening with a lot of these projects. And it takes longer than a year and a half, especially if you have somebody that's disputing it, or family member that says, I'm not going to do it, give me some more money or something. So That's what's been happening. So that's why 2 years later, before they can start building, but they don't tell people this. They act like we own the land, no big deal, yada, yada, yada. Meanwhile, they have a backdoor, not a backdoor deal. They just, I'm buying it on a payment plan, right? So, or they might have bought it straight out, but again, the title's not clear. They have to get all the titles together cleared, and that takes a year and a half to 2 years. And they, most of the time, they tell people we're going to build in 3. So you can go from there. They're not going to build in 3. They're not going to build in 5. So that's why 6, 7 years is that's the norm. And a lot of time. All right, we're going to wrap it up. I'm not going to be on here forever, but I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. All right, thank you so much. But again, the L's, big time. How to get in the wealth game now. Get your debt reduced so you can use that extra disposable income to buy assets. And buy assets that pay you would be great, because your future, the amount of money you owe, is undetermined. Your job and having one is undetermined. Your renewals for insurance, undetermined. Your renewals for your property tax, undetermined. All you know is it's going to be higher. That's it. But you don't know how much higher, right? So just think about all of that. And I will see you guys on Monday. If you have anything else that you want to discuss, please put it in the chat room and we can talk about it. If you'd like to become a member, like Post Retirement Travel, thank you so much for being a member of the channel. Once again, please do so. And also, I love you guys very much. And I didn't even get to a story tonight. I was going to tell you guys a story about something. I can't even remember what it was. I was just thinking about it today. But I was like, oh man, I should tell them about this on Friday night live stream, and I can't remember what it was. Oh well, it'll have to do on another day. Maybe I'll come up with another one, but I can't really remember. I'm trying to think right now, but I can't remember it. I'm like, because I was talking with my uncle about a few things, and that's why it came up. And I can't remember what our discussion was, because we talk about a lot of things, and we'll see. But nonetheless, thank you guys for being here. I love you guys very much. I appreciate your support over all these years. And with all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen, but it's only going to get harder financially if you live in America and around the world, because America is dictating to other countries to do similar type of government decrees, if you will, directives, to basically make sure people are almost held hostage of some sort, financially as well as wage hostage. So again, it's putting people in a box, almost in a caste system. So that's not very good. So just keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what happens, make sure you stay out of trouble out here, because a lot of people are under stress and duress. So you can't take things lightly when somebody pipes up and starts arguing and doing things like that. Just walk away, because you never know what's going to happen, because people are trying to do all kind of crazy out here. And make sure, no matter what, keep your head up, keep moving. And I'm out. Cute. I can't go out. I can't go out. They said I can't go out. Okay. Now I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good week.